civilians right across the hall in her son's 6th grade class. They're both married to Army officers. The soldiers themselves are involved parents too. They're actually given time off to go into the schools.
Spell it again.
Valerie Tisby is an Army medical technician. She's also a single mother, and her daughter Kelly has a learning disability. You're all involved in the school. You all care. Can this be exported to an urban school?
I think it can, but if
You're all saying you can, and yet I look at it and I say, where do you find the time to go into the school? The military lets you. I mean, we can't lose sight of that. They want you in the school.
Right.
It's wonderful. But I keep thinking about someone like you who's not in the military. And I think, boy, that parent is going to have an awfully difficult time.
My mother was a single parent. She raised 4 of us in public schools. She worked 2 jobs. And when there were the school plays, the recitals, Mommy was there.
And she
was there. So, you know, it can be done.
But in school after school, urban, suburban, and rural, parents aren't doing it. In the Army, they're ordered to. And if they don't get involved, they'll hear about it. The superintendent can call their commanding officer and complain. You have the option of going to his commander.
Yes, we do, but we very seldom do that.
But you have that option.
Oh, yes, we do.
And over the years, you have done it.
Yes, that's correct.
And he insists that can be done in the civilian world, too.
When I was in public schools, and I had one of the largest industries in America right at my back door.
Which was?
Eastman Kodak. And I, without hesitation, have called on several occasions their supervisors and asked them to help me get the parent into the school.
Did it work?
It worked, absolutely.
So far, a lot of companies aren't doing anything close to this.
But they can.
Not everyone thinks it's so easy to duplicate. Roy Romer used to be governor of Colorado and chairman of the National Education Goals Panel. Now he's superintendent of the huge Los Angeles school system.
There's an expected behavior of parents in the military. That's wonderful, but it's not the world that we live in.
It's not the real world.
Off the base.
In Romer's real world of labor troubles and budget battles and overcrowded schools, everybody gets blamed except the parents. We hear about the teachers and accountability. We hear schools need more money. We hear all other kinds of problems, but we don't hear, hey, come on, parents, come up to the plate.
Let me be frank about it. I think you don't hear about it because we don't want to acknowledge it. We don't want to acknowledge the degree to which the family has disintegrated in some ways.
Listen to the lesson.
And here's a dirty little secret. Lots of regular public schools, maybe most of them, don't really want parents around. Did any of you in your other schools feel that the school did not want you there?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That they just put up a barrier?
You're kind of an outsider, and it's more like intruding and making yourself, imposing yourself to be a part of your child's education.
I could just see the teachers in some schools, uh-oh, parents, trouble.
Right. We just came from another school district that, as Anna just said, you really felt like you had to impose yourself to be in there as much as you wanted to be there.
At many schools, even the buildings send that stay away message.
Every time I walk into one of my schools out here, I see 3 signs on the pillars out front saying, beware, don't enter before you check in with the principal. We have a hostile atmosphere sometimes.
I had to sign in to get through the gate at this school.
We ought to have an atmosphere where you're welcome.
Of course, there are good reasons for the security measures, but parents aren't the enemy, and they're often made to feel as if they are. You are at a college of education. What is taught when teachers go to school about parents?
That they are scary, that they are threats, that they are to be avoided. Colleges of education do not teach teachers to develop productive relationships with parents. It's not done.
That's a pretty remarkable admission, that teachers are trained to push parents away. And it makes the attitude of the Pentagon teachers, like Michelle Todd, all the more notable.
The parent knows that child like I will never know that child. And I need them to make it complete. I need the parent.
You almost never hear about teacher burnout at the Bay schools. Maybe it's because they're well paid or because they love the disciplined atmosphere. But they say the biggest reason they like teaching here is the productive relationship with parents.
I think we really have an underlying attitude. If you want to just come on in and sit for 15 minutes and then go eat lunch with your child, that's fine. We're not going to question it. Go ahead and go. I think that is unique.
Bringing parents in and parental involvement becomes part of the art and craft of teaching in DoD schools, and that's what is very impressive. But again, that is transferable. It's a mindset. It's a way of thinking about parents as partners and not as adversaries.
The partnership means so much to parents that at Fort Campbell there's an 18-month waiting list for base housing. Much nicer homes are available just outside the fence. But if you live there, your kids can't attend the base schools.
We're willing to have a little smaller house, make some sacrifices for the school.
But you could live off base and buy your own home.
And have equity, yes. All of those things, yes, that is a lovely concept.
But when you weigh and measure, you'll take the smaller house, the lesser house, the no equity in the house.
Yes.
Because the schools, in your view, are that much better?
Yes.
America cannot be remade in the image of an Army base. Leave It to Beaver was canceled a long time ago. Still, there is a lot to be learned from these schools. And all you employers out there looking for a stable, motivated workforce, take note.
How important are these military schools to keeping people in the Army?
I think it's a big issue.
Very important. I was going to get out the military, I really was. But because my daughter is doing so well and stuff, I would rather sacrifice and stay here.
You're going to re-enlist so that your children can stay in these schools?
They can stay in these schools, yes. My daughter made the A and B honor roll twice. She has never done that, never.